Okay, let's get started here. So I put together a little app called Save the Rain, and I'll just give you a little background before I get into some of the details. We're going to talk a little bit, or actually a lot, about rain, and coming from Vancouver, I guess that's a good thing to talk about. But so the idea behind this app is just a quick tool for people all over the world, especially in developing countries and areas where rain is scarce and they need to make the most of it. So I wanted to develop something that would help those folks. And it turned out I ended up helping out a lot more other people, which you'll see a little bit later in the presentation. So the application, just in a nutshell, it allows you to take a look at your roof anywhere in the world. You can zoom to any roof anywhere in the world, draw a box around it, and find out how much rain you actually get in that area for the reasons of actually capturing that rainfall. So you might have seen it in the olden days. They used to always have that big barrel under the gutter, and so the rain would come down and they'd capture it, and then they could save it for gardening and whatnot. So let me get started here. That just gives you a little background on the app here. Okay, so technical difficulties already. Why save the rain? I'm going to give you a few interesting statistics here. Did you know that every 15 seconds a child dies from the lack of clean water in the world? And not necessarily clean water, or not necessarily a lack of water, like in general water, but clean water. So this example here is a kind of a culture of some bacteria growing in a well versus some rainwater. So you can see that there's an impact there right off the bat. Another quick stat. And I'm going to have to move this down here real quick. Hopefully you didn't see that bottom part. Did anybody see the bottom part? Okay. I've got a couple trivia questions here, and I'll give away a couple Starbucks cards. Everybody like Starbucks? Okay. So the first trivia question is, any idea how many liters of water it takes to grow 1 kilogram of corn? 20? 100? 50? Okay, hang on. I can't take too many. It's got to be close. Okay, the next three. Hand up.
35,000.
How many? Okay, let's try this again. Next three.
11.
Right here. 11. Okay, who's next? Okay, hands up. Next. 1,000. Okay, next. 50. Okay, you know what? It's actually 900. So you come see me afterwards, and I'll give you a card. Now, the next one is obviously something that's near and dear to your hearts, I can tell by what you're drinking. How much water does it take to produce 1 glass of beer?
Whoa.
Okay, just wait. We'll do the 1, 2, 3 again. First one?
5 liters.
DJ, 5 liters. Okay, next.
50.
50? I hear 50. Next?
3 liters.
3?
Half a liter.
Okay, let's take a couple more. We're getting close. Okay, there's a big hand up there. 7? Okay.
101.
Ooh, now that's getting close. Okay, let's do one more.
115.
Okay, it's actually 75, so I believe you're the closest there. So come see me afterwards, and I'll get you that card. Actually, so here's a table. This is actually an interesting organization that actually has a scientific methodology for calculating how much water you need to grow different items. And so if you ever want to check out that site, it's called waterfootprint.org. It's really actually quite cool. Amazing that they can figure that out. I don't know how they do it, but they do. Last statistic here is that this is from a UN report, and you know Africa in general has a lot of different climates, and they do actually get a lot of rain. So rainwater harvesting could end much of Africa's water shortage, according to this UN report. Like I mentioned, Africa is not water scarce. The rainfall contribution is more than adequate to meet the current population several times over. So just trying to set up a little bit of context of why I've used this application. Here's a few little images of good old rainwater catching systems. Just like I mentioned, they basically grab the rainwater from your roof and save it in some sort of catchment area. Okay, so I'll just get on to who's actually using this. You'd actually never guess what this is getting used for. First of all, nonprofit organizations. I've partnered with an organization called the waterproject.org, and their mission in life is to raise awareness around water, storing water, how to save it, and teach people about, and they actually go out to developing countries and send people there to teach NGOs and things like that on how to set up these systems and benefit the community. So the president sent me an email the other day saying this is a fantastic little app, and I'm glad to hear that. Of course, I've got some open data in this application coming from World Bank, And so they were really interested in it as well, and they sent me some great feedback too, saying it's an excellent app and very easy and cool to use. And lastly, this one here hits home a little bit. Believe it or not, in BC, we do have areas where rainwater is an issue. It's called the Gulf Islands. They call it the BC's Mediterranean or whatnot. In the summertime, they really do not get a lot of rain. So this is from one of the scientists at the Environmental Science Office there, just saying that it's a good application to communicate how much water people can collect and how to size their rainwater systems. What's interesting is that there's been some interest from private companies as well. Again, this organization here, Bob Burgess, is from the Gulf Islands Rainwater, and he actually goes and sets up these systems. He's saying he had some fun using it, and the website's a great introduction to rainwater harvesting. So it's really bringing some awareness to areas that need this kind of information. There's been a couple big websites down in the States that have expressed interest. They wanted to buy the system from me. I said, no, just link to it, and that's good enough for me. So, and then of all things, roofers do this. So they want to be able to go and draw a box around the roof and figure out how much are we going to charge the customer to redo their roof. So it had nothing to do with rainwater, but I thought it was kind of cool. And some interesting notes from the public, actually. I did a Bing search, and this came up. This is some sort of an organic gardening forum. And some of the things people were saying, I can't read it on my thing here, but it's uber cool for my mom's roof. And this guy here says, this guy from Portugal, Portugal says, it makes me wonder why people carry water to the chickens. Go figure, I guess. And so it kind of makes you feel good that someone's actually hitting this thing. So let's try and do a demo here. Live demos are always fun. So this is the application. Very simple page. It's designed to be very easy to use. It's a 1-2-step process. You just kind of draw a box or put your address in, find out where you want to draw the box, hit go, and you're set to go. It's using a Google map here, and one of the reasons is they have some really nice imagery. So this is in, I think it's in Uganda. If I click here, there's some little links to kind of get you to some interesting places around the world. Zimbabwe, Ghana, India, Brazil, Kenya. This imagery is really good quality too. So besides that, so what we'll do here is we'll just give the app a little bit of work here. So we're actually going to type in the address for this roof and figure out how much beer we could actually produce based on the rainwater if we could capture off of this roof. So let's just see what happens here. It's been a little on and off here, so hopefully, okay.
Too many people were leeching off.
Yeah, okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to, do I have to run that little app, or is it?
Just go into the app.
Okay, 1 second. Sorry, technical difficulties. Anybody want to sing? Let's see here. Okay. We just want to do some advertising for Rogers. Thank you so much for Rogers. Okay, looks good. Thank you.
Internet connection. And then,
Click it. Yep. Dialing. You remember those phone line things? That's what we got here. No.
should be good to go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. This guy is just amazing, by the way. Technical man. It's fantastic. Good your loss. Okay, we'll go back to here. Let's see. I don't know if this will actually work, if it kind of lost connection and reconnected, or if it actually find that place or not. I might have to reload the page, so bear with me here, just in case. Let's see if it, oh yeah, okay, we're good. So it's going to take a little while here. It looks like it's a little bit slow, but does this building look familiar? Yeah. Okay, yeah. What an awesome place. So what I'm going to do here is all I did was punch in an address and I hit go. I could have used the map and zoomed and found a place, but now I'm going to draw a box. Normally we would probably just grab the area that we're in here, but all you do is you click on the corners of the building. So you can add as many points as you want, and if you screw up, you just take one of those points and drag it around, and you can add more, and it will actually kind of draw a box over your roof. And I should have hit that right away. And then I just hit finish. Now, what it's doing is it's going off into this, we'll get into the technology behind it a little bit, but there's clouds all over, and it's kind of funny that we're talking clouds and I've got a rainfall application, but this cloud notion is basically a computing term, and that I'll describe a little bit in a second. So I did write down the number here. So you can see that's a lot of water. The area of the roof was 8,000 square meters, which is, wow, a big building. And the rainfall you get here in a year, now this is the mean annual rainfall, is 700 millimeters, and you can harvest, that's a big number, a lot of liters of water. That's enough to flush your toilet almost 1,000,000 times. There's a little extra information to... And in terms of beer, that would allow you to produce 77,000 bottles of beer. So hey, just in time for the next party, I guess. Okay. I just quickly, before I step on here, I'm almost finished, is I just wanted to zoom out a little bit, and I clicked on this rainfall button here, and what it shows you is the open data set that I'm using that shows the rainfall for the world. Obviously, the darker the color, the more rainfall you get. There's one place, just on a side note, that I found somewhere in the near Malaysia that was 3,800 millimeters of rain a year. So didn't necessarily need that application, this application here. I've also got some World Bank's data here that basically this is what's called a heat map, and showing you the areas where the World Bank has invested the most money in water projects. And it's just another good way to communicate what's happening in the world with regards to this water application business. Okay, so quick note on the technology. I know there's a lot of tech folks here, so you've already heard this word a few times, interoperability, and Wikipedia has just a nasty definition. Interoperability is a property referring to the ability of diverse systems to work together, interoperate. Well, that kind of says it, but basically, in a nutshell, what I say is I've got information here, I've got information here, I've got a computer over here that tells me something, a computer over here that tells me something, and basically pulling them all together is basically getting them to interoperate, is that a word? Yeah, okay, interoperate. So they're interoperating together, so that's, and lastly, there's just a, can you see that diagram? So I could spend a lot of time on this diagram because I love technology, but I won't. What we've got is kind of clouds, and this notion of cloud computing. We've got all sorts of technologies here, and so we can see the true interoperability between technologies. We've got some great stuff. Microsoft. Oh yeah, I've got one question for you. Do you pronounce it Azure? Azure? Okay. So Microsoft's got a great thing going right now. For a whole month, you get Azure free. You can try it out, and that's what I've done here, and it's great. I've hosted my application. The actual web page that you see is coming from Azure, and I've got some open data hosted there. And then on the other side, when it goes off and you click on the inside of your building, it goes off to another hosting environment, which is in the cloud. It's a similar product to Azure, and it's called VMware. And I have some specific geographic information systems software running on there from a company called ESRI. I've got a couple of ESRI Canada folks here today. And yeah, it works really great. It's very powerful. You can ask anything out of geography and it'll give you an answer. And then, of course, the actual what's called an API is the toolboxes that I use to build it. There's one from Google. You guys have all seen Google Maps. And I've got, again, another ESRI application API that helps me as well. So that's basically it. I've got some time for questions if you have any. And any questions there? I see one.
Is there anything on your site that would tell me better ways to use my roof, or better ways to improve the amount of rainwater that I get, or just little tips and tricks like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, at the bottom of the site, because of the resolution, you can see there's 4 links along the bottom. One of them is how to set up a system yourself, more information about rainwater harvesting, and then some more information about the data and so also the nonprofit organization. So there's a lot more information there. I just didn't have time to demo it, but for sure.
Great, thanks.
That it? Okay. Great.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark.